The kingdom of Hollow Nest is populated by charming characters whose stories are as captivating as they are mysterious. From the arrogant mighty Zode, whose origin remains unknown, to the perplexing Pale King, whose fate is yet to be deciphered, Hollow Knight's characters intrigue the player with an abundance of questions and a shortage of answers. Bretta, a damsel in distress, is encountered far from her home and in the midst of a plague, the circumstances surrounding her location unfamiliar. So today, we'll descend into the noxious depths of the Fungal Wastes as we attempt to unravel the predicament in which we find Hollow Knight's most shy and impressionable bug. When the knight first finds Bretta, she appears to be in a sedated state, speaking gibberish as infectious gas clouds her face. In her initial dialogue,
"Please, don't leave me behind."
Bretta desperately pleads not to be abandoned, though it's unclear whom her begging is towards. The words she utters next,
"You forgot about me? I knew you would. Everyone always forgets about me."
implicate that she's been forsaken not by one, but many bugs altogether. However, despite being disoriented, Bretta clearly knows she's deep below the surface, saying,
"I just can't believe you came all the way down here to rescue me."
After realizing where she is, Bretta says,
I'd better go. Back to town, I'd better get home."
Bretta then makes her way to Dirtmouth, which suggests that she's traveled through the Fungal Wastes enough times to know her way home. In her diary, Bretta writes, "Sharp brambles jabbed at all sides. Burning acid bubbled close below," which presumably depicts the location that links the Fungal Wastes to the City of Tears. Adjacent to this area, corpses of bugs reanimated by Adjacent to this area, corpses of bugs reanimated by infected spores erupt gas from their bodies, exhibiting symptoms similar to Bretta's when rescued. It's also evidenced by the decor and trinkets in her room matching the quaint fashion of the City of Tears that Bretta has visited the kingdom's capital before. It's plausible that she found herself isolated within the Fungal Wastes when bugs who showed infectious behavior caused the great gates to be sealed, as well as the entrance to the city storerooms to be barricaded. As stated by Elena in the Wanderer's Journal, Bretta eventually wandered into danger and was trapped amongst twisted, thorny passages in the lower chambers of the Fungal Wastes, perhaps by the mantises nearby. It's evident by the husk of a bug in the western side of the Fungal Wastes that the mantises presumably imprisoned foreign bugs in cells surrounded with brambles similar to the cove in which Bretta is found. This cell is positioned near the Queen's Station, one of the kingdom's busiest stack stations in previous times, which may have been the one that Bretta used to reach the city from Dirtmouth. In theory, Bretta has traveled numerous times from Dirtmouth to the Queen's Station in order to reach the kingdom's capital before. During her travels, she began falling into a stasis and was lost within the Fungal Wastes after the Great Gates were sealed so as to prevent infected bugs from reaching the city. Ultimately, Bretta meandered into the lower caverns of the Fungal Wastes only to be trapped by the mantises and left to share the same fate as her fellow bugs. The following content is neither theory nor speculation. It simply draws interesting parallels between in-game evidence and real-world bug behavior. The Fungal Wastes contain various forms of fungi, some of which spread infected spores when exposed to a living bug's soul, and others that can control the husks of bugs they come into contact with. As previously suggested, Bretta may have been sealed within the Fungal Wastes when bugs began showing signs of infection. As exemplified by real-world counterparts, bugs displaying infectious symptoms are often exiled by their colony in order to protect the colony. After making her return to Dirtmouth, Bretta develops growths on her antennas that are never explained but share a likeness to the growths that sprout from fungified husks, corpses of bugs infected with poisonous fungi. These protrusions, as well as the aforementioned infectious spores, are reminiscent of real-world cordyceps, parasitic fungi that release spores that infect bugs, causing protrusions to emerge from their shell. Ultimately, Bretta leaves Dirtmouth for the Howling Cliffs, one of the highest points in the kingdom, abundant with strong winds. In actuality, cordyceps manipulate their victims into ascending to higher altitudes so as to further germinate their growths and spread to other bugs through winds that carry infectious spores and spell doom for bugs nearby. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to comment a question or theory you'd like to see realized into a future video. Special thanks to our patron, and if you'd like early access to new videos and exclusive content, consider becoming a patron.